Howdy folks, this is Tony here, and I did not put on a collared shirt or my glasses because I just don't have time. This video is pretty urgent. As you guys know, Donald Trump's house was just raided by the FBI looking for what, I don't know. There's probably some files that had already been declassified by the time he left office, but the point being made by the FBI is pretty clear. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're an ordinary citizen like you and I, or whether you're an elected official. The fact is, if someone sicks us on you, we're going to get you. That is the message that federal law enforcement has just sent to the entire nation. Now, why Biden's FBI decides to do this to Trump is pretty obvious. We have a midterm election coming up where it's not looking like Joe Biden's party is going to be able to keep the House of Representatives. So he's basically probably trying to demoralize Republicans and conservatives from going to the ballot box by being intimidated by law enforcement. And this is why I have been harping on what I have been saying since 2 years ago, that I believe that all law enforcement should be elected officials. I believe that you should replace all police with sheriffs. And even if you have some form of federal police, that should be a consortium of sheriffs that are elected on the state level. Now, let me tell you why I think that. I don't believe it is possible to have a free society when you have unaccountable men with guns walking around. I don't care who they are. If you have gangs running the country like the cartels in Mexico, they're not a free country because the cartel is not accountable to anyone and they have all the power. Likewise, if you have a federal government where the law enforcement can kick down your door, open your safe for no apparent reason, without any good cause, just to intimidate you, that is not a free country either. Here is how we should do law enforcement. Every county should have a county sheriff that is elected. Every state should have a statewide election for a statewide sheriff. That statewide sheriff would be responsible for running the highway patrol, or what some of you guys call the state police. And that statewide sheriff, the person who's elected by the state, should also be responsible for serving in a delegation, an association of 50, because we have 50 states, of 50 statewide sheriffs that together have an interconnected network among themselves where they make decisions as the federal law enforcement. So let's say you have a serial killer who's killing people in Iowa and in Kansas. In that case, because it's crossing state lines, that would be a federal crime at that point. Well, now you would have the Kansas and the Iowa state level sheriffs work together and share intelligence on that case until they solve it. I think that's what we need. We don't need law enforcement that's just appointed by the executive branch, even if they have to be confirmed by the Senate. Here's the thing. The federal government has proven itself too irresponsible to police itself. And that is why what we need is we need elected sheriffs, and not just by popular vote in the state. Have sort of a mini electoral map with all the counties, right? That's how you should do the statewide races. Have that consortium or, assembly of 50 statewide sheriffs basically serve as the federal law enforcement. They would replace all of those alphabet soup agencies. I think we need elections to be a way to hold law enforcement accountable, because right now the executive branch can just do whatever it wants, such as hire 87,000 IRS agents when people can barely afford to pay their bills. What good is that going to do? Obviously, that is an intimidating picture meant to demoralize conservatives from showing up at the ballot box. But I think that's the solution. If you or I were to use a firearm in self-defense, we would be held accountable by a court system. If an individual out there breaks into someone's house, they will be held accountable. Why is it that the federal government does not get held accountable? That makes no sense. So that's what I think. We need to have statewide elections for state represented officials who then make a network that should be the federal government. But the federal government should not have just this carte blanche power to act unilaterally like that, because it is intimidating people. It is tearing our nation apart. And I frankly don't think it's that good of an idea. Secret Service should be Capitol Police and Secret Service should just be it. Everything else should be done by a delegation of states. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have a good day. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I'm mostly free. Until the day Joe Biden gets the FBI on me.